Welcome to IAS project. In this video, let's talk about painted graveware pottery. So the painted graveware pottery culture mainly started around 1100 BCE and it lasted up to 700 BCE. Please note that we have evidences of painted graveware pottery even before 1100 BCE and even after 700 BCE. However, this timeline is mainly the most important part of timeline for painted graveware culture. So in various books, you mainly find different timelines, but whatever the case is, this is the most common timeline for painted graveware pottery. So what exactly was painted graveware pottery? Painted graveware pottery was a pottery that was having fine and thin fabric. It also had smooth finish and it also had even grey color. Moreover, PGW pottery was a well-fired pottery. Let's try to understand each of these characteristics. Alright, the PGW pottery has even grey color. What does this mean? It means that the color of the pottery was more or less uniform on the whole pot. And such uniformity is mainly because this pottery was made using high quality clay. The next characteristic is that PGW pottery was a well-fired pottery. Firing, as I told you, it is nothing but heating in a kiln. So this indicates that the potters who were making PGW pottery were experts in kilning techniques. That is why they were able to well fire the PGW pottery. The next characteristic is that PGW pottery had a smooth finish. What does this mean? Which means that PGW pottery was mostly used as a deluxe ware. Deluxe ware means it was mainly used for special occasions and it was probably used by wealthy people. And the last characteristic here is that PGW pottery was having a fine and thin fabric. When we are talking about pottery, you will often hear the word fabric. Fabric does not mean cloth here. Fabric is basically the clay material with which the pot is made. For example, let me draw a pot. So this is basically a cross section of a pot. Let me also draw its thickness. So the thickness of the pot was very small. That is why it is called as fine and thin pot, or we can say fine and thin fabric. This is nothing but basically your fabric in a pottery. Please note that fabric is not related to cloth when we are talking about pottery. Fabric is basically the material using which the pot has been made. Again, fine and thin fabric means that PGW pottery was mostly a deluxe ware. Because fine and thin fabric pottery means the pottery was delicate and considerable skill of the potter was required to make such kind of pottery. That is why it was probably expensive and mostly used by wealthy people during that time. So since PGW pottery was mostly a deluxe ware, it was also less common. And probably it was not used by common people. It was mostly used by wealthy people and for special occasions. PGW pottery also occurs alongside some other pottery. For example, plain graveware pottery has also been found in the PGW sites. But plain graveware pottery is more common compared to PGW pottery. Please note this. So mostly common people were using plain graveware pottery, whereas rich people were using painted graveware pottery. Other than painted graveware pottery and plain graveware pottery, there were also some other kind of potteries like black and red ware pottery and black slipped ware pottery. These were also used by people in their everyday life. Please also note these notations. BRW means black and red ware pottery, whereas BSW means black slipped ware pottery. Let me show you an example of painted graveware pottery. So these are basically fragments of painted graveware pottery. This is grey in color and it is also uniformly grey, which means that there is not high contrast within the grey color pot. You can also see designs in black color. And these designs were mostly geometric patterns. For example, you can see semicircle type of pattern here. If we talk about the location of PGW sites, then these PGW sites are mainly located in the Indo-Gangetic divide. Indo-Gangetic divide simply means the area that divides Indus tributaries from Ganges river tributaries. So let's say this is Indus river and its tributaries, and this is Ganga and this is Yamuna. Then this area is basically called as Indo-Gangetic divide. PGW sites are also found in Sutlej basin and also in upper Ganga plains. If we talk about Sutlej Basin, then we have site called as Roped, which is a PGW site. Roped was also a Harappan site. We have already discussed this. So the geographical extent of PGW sites was mostly North India from Bahawalpur in Pakistan up to Kaushambi in Uttar Pradesh. If we talk about north-south extent, then they stretched from Himalayan foothills to Malwa Plateau in central India. Please note this. We will see the location of PGW sites on a map in the next slide. So PGW pottery is mainly found in Gangetic plains, but it is also found in the hills of Kumaon and Garhwal. Kumaon Hills and Garhwal Hills are located in Uttarakhand. So PGW pottery is mostly found in plains, but it is also found in the hill regions of Uttarakhand. Also, within the PGW pottery, there are many regional variations depending on where we have found this PGW pottery. In the case of Gangetic Valley, after PGW phase ended, we have a new kind of pottery which was called as NBPW pottery, or we can say Northern Black Polished Ware. This pottery is basically the most important pottery during Mahajanapada period. So we will talk about Northern Black Polished Ware when we discuss Mahajanapada period. Alright, some of the important PGW sites in India include Hastinapur, Alamgirpur, Mathura, Bhagwanpura, Kaushambi and Shravasti. So all these places are mainly located in the plains of Ganges River and its tributaries. Now let's look at the location of PGW culture. You can see the location of PGW culture in the red boundary that I have shown here. So these are some of the important PGW sites. So you can see Roped over here. Roped is mainly located in the Sutlej Basin. And we have Shravasti, which is located over here. But mostly PGW sites are located within the red boundary that I have shown here. So some of the important PGW sites are Bahawalpur in Pakistan, Bhagwanpura, Hastinapur, Kampili, Kaushambi, Mathura, Ahitchatra, and we also have Delhi. Please note that Delhi has been called as Indraprastha here. So Indraprastha or Delhi both mean the same location and they are a PGW site. So the PGW culture is mainly associated with Iron Age culture of North India. However, iron is not associated with all PGW sites. For example, in some PGW sites of Rajasthan, iron tools have not been found there. For example, in Ghaggar Hakra region or Bikaner region, iron tools have not been found. However, PGW pottery have been found from these locations. Let me show you the Ghaggar Hakra river once again. So this is the map and we know that Saraswati river is located somewhere over here. So you can see from this map that PGW sites are located around Saraswati river also. But in this region, iron tools were not found. Whatever the case is, we can say that PGW culture is mostly associated with Iron Age culture of North India. So, in the case of Upper Ganga plains, that is nothing but Ganga Yamuna Doab, earliest objects of iron have been associated with PGW phase. Upper Ganga plains or Ganga Yamuna Doab simply means the Kuru kingdom. So, in the sites of Kuru kingdom, for example, Bhagwanpura and Hastinapura, we have found iron objects that are associated with PGW pottery. But in the case of Middle Ganga plains, iron tools have been found in black and red ware pottery levels. Black and red ware pottery levels in Middle Ganga plains existed even before PGW phase. Please don't get confused by which level comes first and which level comes later, because although we can make a small generalization, it depends on the area where we are excavating. So please don't go too much into this sentence. What you need to understand from here is that PGW pottery was initially existing in Ganga Yamuna Doab and later it also spread into Middle Ganga plains. That is nothing but the area of Kaushambi. However, even before PGW pottery came to Kaushambi, iron tools were used in Kaushambi. I hope the message is clear. Now let's try to make a generalization regarding the sequence of pottery that has been found in Ganga plains. This is very important. I will explain you the logic behind the sequence of this pottery, but if you are unable to remember the logic, just mug up this sequence. Initially, there was OCP ware. OCP ware is nothing but ochre colored pottery ware. We have already talked about ochre colored pottery when we discussed copper hoards. Copper hoards were mainly buried by Chalcolithic people. Now let's talk about PGW pottery. I told you that PGW pottery is mainly associated with Iron Age period, and I can say it is also associated with later Vedic period. The next is NBPW pottery, which is nothing but Northern Black Polished Ware. Northern Black Polished Ware is associated with Mahajanapada period. And the remaining here is that BRW and BSW, which is nothing but Black and Red Ware and Black Slipped Ware. Black and Red Ware and Black Slipped Ware is also Chalcolithic pottery. We have extensively talked about Black and Red Ware and Black Slipped Ware in our Chalcolithic pottery videos. So the logic is that OCP ware people were mainly copper hoard people. Copper hoard people were the first people to settle in the Gangetic plains. So these people were making ochre colored pottery. After ochre colored pottery, black and red ware pottery was being used. Black and red ware pottery was being made by the people in villages who were in Chalcolithic age. For example, in Malwa Chalcolithic culture, Iran Chalcolithic culture, Kayatha Chalcolithic culture, people were making black and red ware and black slipped ware. Now after Chalcolithic age, we have Iron Age. In Iron Age, the most important pottery was PGW pottery. And this PGW iron phase is basically associated with later Vedic period. After later Vedic period, we have the urbanization period during Mahajanapada period. And in Mahajanapada cities, Northern Black Polished Ware was being made. So initially Chalcolithic pottery, then first Iron Age pottery, then we have Northern Black Polished Ware, which is nothing but the urban Iron Age pottery. So you must remember both the sequence as well as the time periods to which it is associated. This will be very important for prelims exam. If we talk about the houses that were built by PGW people, then PGW sites had usually mud huts and also wattle and daub houses. In case of Hastinapura, we have found unbaked bricks also. If we talk about the food habits of PGW people, then these people cultivated rice, wheat and barley. Moreover, PGW people also probably knew about double cropping. So this is about PGW pottery. You will learn about all these aspects when we discuss society and economy of the later Vedic period. Please like and subscribe. You can download this presentation from our Telegram channel. The name of the channel is IAS Project, and you can find the link for this channel in the description section below. Thank you.